Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this big time show. The Cyclones won on Saturday, so let's break it down. Here we go. Iowa State beat Baylor to move to 2-0, so we got a lot to talk about today on Locked On Cyclones.
You are Locked On Cyclones, your daily podcast on the Iowa State Cyclones, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, into Locked On Cyclones, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Shout out to you guys for being here every single day. We got a lot to talk about. Obviously, it's going to be all around the men's basketball game against Baylor in three different segments, of course, full breakdown. Is this team top two in the nation after this big win? And then, of course, we have to talk about one guy in particular, Chatfield, coming onto the scene unbelievably, making his mark, and I couldn't be honestly more excited for that for more reasons than one. Before we get into that, though, today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. All right, let's go. Here we go. Let's dive right on into it. Yes, a bit of a gimmicky open to today's episode, but because I did that because I just get so fired up watching this team. I rewatched the highlights and it just gets the blood pumping, it gets you jazzed. It gets you fired up, man. These guys play so well. They play so fun. And Iowa State beat Baylor 74-55, a 19-point win over a top 25 team in the nation. And boy, this one, it was just fun to watch, plain and simple, and doing it in Ames, of course, as well. Hearing the crowd being a major part of this game was exciting. And so I guess I don't really know what else to say besides, I don't want to dog on Baylor too much because they're still a good team. It's just clear that they're not kind of in that upper tier. And not to say we are, but kind of are. Look at what's coming down the pipe for that second segment. Top two in the nation. That's kind of the top of the top there. That being said, looking at I've got the box score up here. High scoring guy, Keshon Gilbert comes away with 16. Momcilovic got 15, and Curtis Jones, that is, got 14 there. For the Bears, we got Roach with 16, and then was that Ojianwa with 13, and then Robert Wright with 10. So Iowa State played some pretty solid defense in this game. A bit of an ode to the back-to-back Big 12 champions, right around that 2000 mark there. So they, obviously we'll talk more tomorrow about TJ Ott's thoughts. We've got potentially a new name for that segment, and he talked about that more. So I'm not going to get too crazy on that, that mentality. But Iowa State came into this game and played pretty much locked, just lights out defense, holding the Bears to 29% from the floor and 24% from three, they are traditionally a very strong three-point shooting team. And then you look at what Iowa State did, 49% from the floor. That's pretty good. At least I feel like it is. And then from three, 47.6, almost 48%. That's, even harder because it's further away. So that's also very solid. And then you look at the guys, Milan going 4 for 7 from three. Are you kidding me? And then Tamin actually hit 2 as well. So 2 for 4 for Tamin and 2 for 3 for Gilbert. And then, of course, you got Jones throwing up his 5. He hits 40% of those. This team, man, just fun to watch. The ball movement is exceptional. I've got notes here. Really what it came down to was I'm looking at every one of these points, and it's Tamin Lipsey's hustle is not going to show up on this box score. It's just not, 24 minutes. What is that? 33% from the field, 50% from three. Didn't shoot any free throws. Had 1 offensive rebound, and that was his sole rebound, 2 assists and a steal. 6 points and a turnover. It's not popping off the page, but this guy is kind of the heart and soul, the heartbeat of this team. And that offensive rebound, it was solely an effort play. He practically dove for it. And so that's what I have here. But then all of these other points are the ball movement from this team is insane. Always looking for that extra pass to get to the open guy. The vision, especially obviously from Joshua Jefferson, we have talked about many times before, but you can't not bring it up. It's actually insane, his vision of the floor, not only in passing, but also in what do I have behind me? How do I play this down on the block? It's unreal. But the ball movement is at such a high level that we're actually seeing it in transit. I have never seen ball movement in transition the way that I saw it against Baylor. And it's promising. It is exciting. And this team could be really, really good. Obviously, we'll talk more kind of about where do I think they should fall in the second segment. But realistically, this team, I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's hard to really break down a solid win like this without giving too much away for these next couple segments, of course. But Deshaun Jackson, I mean, don't let what he did. He only had 5 points in this game, but he was a big difference maker, and Chatfield, obviously, that's the whole third segment is we're going to talk about him. And, the team shooting better is something that we have seen them not shoot very well, and we've seen them shoot really well in this, in this game in particular, obviously right off the top of the head. And so that's exciting, that they can do something like that. Honestly, with the free throws, 16 for 24, defensive rebounds, 34 defensive rebounds is a wild number. 8 offensive rebounds, not a great offensive rebounding night, but still that brings the total to 42 rebounds on the evening with 19 assists. This team is firing on all cylinders, and to do it, obviously at home, second game in the conference play. Milan and Keshon were asked, as well as TJ, about is this the new standard? Is because nobody really celebrated after a 19-point win over Baylor. It's just kind of all right, here we go. Let's get ready for the rest of the week. And they were like, is this kind of the new thing that you got? Is this expected now? And there was a couple different answers, obviously, and TJ being, well, we're not so outcome focused. Obviously, we know we want to win every single game, but we're worried about keeping the routine the same every single day. And but obviously, then Milan takes that player approach and is like, yeah, well, I mean, of course, we expect to win every single game. I think that obviously going undefeated at home last year plays a role in that. And Gilbert was like, dude, we don't ever expect to lose. We are winners here. So I love the different perspectives from that single question, the different answers that came of that. And that's kind of where, the mentality thing that we've talked about, obviously a lot with Matt Campbell and his coaching philosophy, that's a totally different thing. But then now inside the basketball building as well, it kind of comes to the forefront. It's something that we can see actually developing right in front of our eyes. Because, yes, if you look at the box score, Iowa State, very impressive day. And honestly, Baylor probably didn't play their best game. But how much of that is a result of Iowa State playing the type of game that they do? You can't really answer that question. But the mentality, the diving for the loose balls, the putbacks, the defensive effort, all of that is in the mentality side of this whole equation. And I don't know if Baylor caught Iowa State at a bad time here, or maybe just, this year is a bad time to catch Iowa State. But boy, 12-1 on the year, 2-0 in the conference. Iowa State is on a different level. Let's put it that way. They are very, very good right now. Question is, are they top 2 in the nation? Because we're ranked third right now. 3 in the Associated Press kind of rankings there. Are they top 2? I don't know. I guess we'll have to break that down right after this. From big upsets to game-winning drives, the NFL playoffs are better with FanDuel, because right now new customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. The FanDuel app gives you everything you need for live bets, same-game parlays, and so much more. Visit the website and share betting lines around your team or league. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today and get started with $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Make this playoff season unforgettable with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. So Iowa State dismantles Baylor, wins by 19, 74-55 in a top 25 showdown in Ames, Iowa. This is Locked On Cyclones, part of Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Iowa State ranked third in that top 25, and then Baylor top, just eking in at number 25 there. 19-point win. 19-point win. Pretty impressive. I mean, this team is very good at basketball. Do they deserve to be top 2 in the nation? Is this one of the top 2 best teams currently in college basketball? I say yes. I absolutely say yes. This team can win it in every way, shape, or form. It's what I was alluding to in the first portion, but didn't want to give it away. We saw Iowa State shoot 22% from 3 and win. Then you see them here with a 47% three-point shooting day, 47.6. And obviously they win by 19. So 3-pointers are worth 3 points. That's a good way to score points, to earn points. And then, on the defensive side of things, you see that we don't have nearly that many turnovers here, only 6 steals. And that's kind of to Baylor's 9, actually. They had more. That's kind of what Iowa State's been known for: steal, transition offense, getting points before their defense gets set and gets ready to roll. And yet Iowa State still runs away with this. And defensively, as I had mentioned, Baylor only shooting 24% from 3, 29% from the floor. How much of that is Iowa State? I don't know. I mean, you have Omier shooting 3 for 11 from the floor, 1 for 7 from 3. I don't know how much of that is a shot selection, or whatever decision, or result, I guess. But Iowa State's still playing unbelievable defense. And I guess the next point I want to make here is this team is so deep. Okay, the starters being Jefferson, Momcilovic, Jackson, Lipsey, and Gilbert, 5 of the best college basketball players in the nation right now. I'm not going to say that they are the top 5 guys, because that'd be a little irresponsible, but they are very, very good. They're definitely top, 20, 5 of the top 20. I don't know. I don't have a super good number for you there, but the point being that they're all very high, top tier talent, very, very good at basketball. But then coming off the bench, you got Brandon Chatfield, who has a whole segment dedicated to him in this show now, Curtis Jones, and Nate Heisey, who, yes, Heisey may only have 4 points, but he's got 4 rebounds and assists. He's good. He is very good at basketball. Okay. So we don't have like a second unit that's weak or anything like that. And we get the way that TJ coaches this team and runs substitutions throughout. This team is solid every combination that's on the floor. So you got to play, 2 full halves here. I mean, what is that? Up 8 at the half. So it's kind of close. And then you run away with it in the second half. You got to play 2 full halves of tough Iowa State basketball if you're going to try to win this as an opponent. I mean, there's no little weak, in my opinion, weak spots in this roster. This team is good top to bottom. So top 2 in the nation? Absolutely. Absolutely. Our only loss, not ours, I'm not on the team. Iowa State's only loss is to a tip-in to, I believe, the number 2 team in the nation right now, Auburn. Very close game, very tight game. Iowa State led that pretty. I mean, do you look at the fact that they had a big lead, or do you look at the fact that they gave up the big lead? That's the question. That's the roll of the dice there, I suppose. And so for me, I'm going to, obviously, as an Iowa State fan, I'm going to look at the fact that they had the big lead. We're going to ignore the collapse, I suppose, is one way to put it. And so, big lead over now the number 2 team in the nation. And then, 55-74, 55, that's 19 points over a top 25 team in Baylor. And where does Baylor end up, this year? Where do they go? How do they finish the year? All of that is it's yet to be seen. It's still in question, but I don't think it matters. What we've seen from Baylor, they're a solid team. They shoot good, pretty solid from beyond the arc. And, obviously that Utah game is the game that I looked at in particular, and they won that game. So it's like, well, this could be tough. I don't know. This is kind of the way I went about this game was might be a benchmark game. Where is Iowa State going to fall in the conference? Because Baylor might be pretty good. Like, is this a 1-point decision either way? Is this a blowout either way? Is this how do we actually perform in there? And to come away with a 19-point win, in the Big 12, against anybody, I'd say that's a pretty big deal because top to bottom, this league is very tough. It's a very good team, or excuse me, league. Like every team in the Big 12 plays pretty solid basketball. I don't know if they'll all make the tournament, but they're all very good. And so a 19-point win over anybody in the conference feels like it's worth noting. And then to do it over a top 25 team in Baylor, obviously is going to turn some heads. So top two is, I don't know. I don't know who would be ahead of them. Honestly, I guess you give it to Auburn because they beat Iowa State. I think maybe we're better than Tennessee. The team, Iowa State is better than Tennessee. And that would be knocking them down 2 pegs. So they would move to 3, which is, I know, a little bit ambitious, but you can't look at this team and tell me that they are not. I mean, what is the hope with this team? What is the end goal? I don't want to say national championship or bust, but this is probably one of the best teams we've ever seen. I mean, realistic. I don't want to get too crazy here, but are you kidding me? It's so they're so fluid. They're so fluid. Everything they do seems to go well. And the passing that I had mentioned, obviously, in the first segment, their ball movement is reminiscent to me of a 2016 Warriors team. Like they just flick that ball around. They always know where it's going. At the end of the game, where is it here? I don't know if I wrote it down exactly. Yeah. So Lipsey is in the corner, kind of dribbles in a little bit, backwards, no look pass. A little one of these, just like a whoop, whoop. That's sick. Then it's to Jefferson, right? One of the best visionaries on the court, decides to, kind of cut left, dribble into the lane, and just instead of taking what is a shot he can make, whips it to the outside. Momcilovic 3. Bang. See ya. Game over. And that's only one example. They were in transition, and there were more passes in transition than I've seen teams have in a whole possession offensively. I cannot wrap my mind around how solid this team is in every aspect of the game, and kind of what I'm saying this over and over, but I think it's important. They win however they have to win. Okay, because they are so solid in every kind of aspect of the game. If you're going to take away our 3-point shooting, okay, we'll do this. You're going to take really good care of the ball. We're not going to get a ton of steals. Okay, then we'll do this. All right, we're going to beat you this way. We're going to beat you that way. We'll beat you with this. We'll beat you with this guy. Iowa State is so versatile. It's insane. They can play fast. They can play slow. They can beat you on defense. They can beat you in transition. They can beat you from the post. They can shoot well from 3. They have so many options. To put them at 2, to me, doesn't feel insane. And is 3 disrespectful? No. That's awesome. Okay. And I don't think it's like this team is the best in the nation by any account. To put them anywhere but 1 is disrespectful. To put them anywhere but 1 or 2. No, I don't think that's the case. And that's why I'm not like super, super fired up about it, because still 3, and to be completely fair, these ratings don't mean that much. So this is like my personal opinion. Where do they fall? I think they're 2. And the only reason is because Auburn beat them, but that was a while ago, and Iowa State's got a lot better since then. Every single game, we're getting better. So that's kind of the thing with it, is it's not the end of the world that we're ranked 3. Honestly, I think that's just kind of really cool. I think it's cool, to be completely honest. But that being said, definitely could be ranked 2, in my opinion. Definitely, pretty easily. This team is so good. So good. And I cannot wait to see what they do with it. Is it a Big 12 championship? Is it an Elite 8 appearance, a Final 4? This team is very capable. It's going to come down to matchups, of course, and being able to play your best basketball at the end of the year. But for right now, let's just enjoy 12-1, 2-0 in the conference. Okay? This is peak. Okay, and we got a game coming up soon as well. So, we are in the thick of it. Let's just enjoy it every moment while it's here. And one piece of that whole puzzle that we got to enjoy, none other than Brandon Chatfield. Okay, we got to talk about him. We'll do that coming up right after this. Attending the new 12-team college football playoffs is an incredible experience that brings fans together like never before. I remember the excitement of past playoff games, and I can't wait to make new memories with the updated format and extra teams involved. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for events even easier. It filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Recently, I used Game Time Picks to find tickets for an upcoming game. Browsing through the deals was a breeze, and I found great value for all kinds of seats around the venue. The Super Deal, in particular, stood out as the best value for the event. I love that I could see the seat views before buying and that the app shows the total cost up front with no surprise fees at checkout. Plus, the on-time ticket delivery and lowest price guarantee gave me complete peace of mind. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Iowa State has 5 players on the floor that play basketball at any one given time, and coming off the bench is a couple stars that shine quite brightly. Let's put it that way. You're here with Locked On Cyclones, part of Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Brandon Chatfield, bench superstar. Why? He's a dog. Kidding me? You kidding me? Number 33 for the Cyclones against Baylor. 7 points, 3 blocks. First off, whoa, that's awesome. And then, of course, 4 rebounds and, the 7 points, 3 for 4 from the free throw line and 2 for 2 from the field. But the question is, with a stat line like that, and standing at 6'10", first off, holy moly. I don't know if he could stand up in here. I don't know if our ceiling is that tall, to be completely honest. I assume it is. But look how close I am to the top of the frame here. Either way, 6'10", 260 pounds. From Idaho, this dude's a dog. I mean, this guy's probably my favorite player on the team. But for the season, 4 points on average, 3.8 rebounds, 0.2 assists, 65% from the floor. You can't tell me those numbers are like, well, this guy needs to win the Heisman of basketball. This guy's unbelievable. No, that's not necessarily the case. And I don't love saying that, but it is a fact. But it's not about the actual statistics for Chatfield. For me, it's about what he does in the minutes that he is given, okay? His most minutes was against Colorado with 20, 16 against Baylor, and prior to that, 14 against Morgan. Is that another 14 against Omaha, 10 against Iowa, 17 and 16. I mean, he's in the teens, 10 to 20 minutes every game. And when he gets out on the floor, he makes meaningful plays every single time. I'm not even joking. Offensive rebound tip-ins, bang. You kidding me? You kidding me? Assist against Morgan State, boom. Assist against Colorado, boom. And obviously Colorado, the game that everybody points to, oh, this is his come-out game. This is now we see it. And I agree. I 100% agree. That game, I think, showed Brandon, or Mr. Chatfield, if you will, what he's capable of. Playing, in very high-level team play and very high-level Big 12 basketball games, I'm sure is daunting, okay? I can barely handle myself on the rec floor, field, court, whatever. If the ball ever comes into my hands, I panic. What am I doing? I got to get somebody take this away from me. I can't shoot it. I know it's going to be a brick. So I'm sure, it's a little daunting out there in Hilton, okay? But I think that win over Colorado in the game he had with 9 points, 7 rebounds, 42% free throw, 3 for 7, not great, but 75% from the floor. Excuse me. I think that was a bit of an eye-opener for him. Like, hey, we can ball. We can play here, okay? And then you see 7 points against Baylor, a top 25 team, 4 rebounds, one of those rebounds being a direct tip-in. The screen game, the passing, and this isn't hockey, okay? A pass to a pass it's not an assist. And so, I would be curious to see what he'd put up if he had pass-to-pass assists, This is just not something that's calculated, but I'd be interested to see because I wanted to do this segment to show appreciation and to put awareness on him. If you're watching the show, obviously you know who Brandon Chatfield is. You know he's important to the team. But if you don't, if you're just casually watching and you're hearing me talk about Curtis Jones and Keshon Gilbert being the next Kyrie, Imam Cilovic being the Serbian sniper, and obviously Joshua Jefferson and everything that I've talked about with him, be it his, vision or ability to finish, whatever. Brandon Chatfield isn't a name that pops up consistently. And if it is, it's more of like at a fleeting, like, oh, and Brandon Chatfield did this. Like, I just wanted to take a second. This guy is a major part of this team. And as we talk about mentality, just the effort that he brings is 6'10". I can't even really get over that. Obviously, the height, that's a you can't coach height, but that being said, still part of his game. All of that, it just plays a role into this team that we are able to put out on the floor every game. And huge shout out, because I don't think if we had Brandon Chatfield, if Brandon Chatfield wasn't playing, I don't think it would be the same team. I don't think we win by 19 against Baylor. Maybe that's like a 4 or 5 point game. Does he only score 7 points there? So then it's like, oh, well, technically we win by 12. No, I think he plays a bigger impact than that. I think it becomes a closer game, a 4, 5, maybe 3. Who knows? We don't want it to get down to one possession, do we? Well, obviously Iowa State will win those games, but if it's one possession, that means they can win. So I prefer the handshakes as the buzzer's going off type of deal. That being said, I just had to get that off my chest, okay? Was this the best segment ever? No. I don't think so. But I think it was much needed. It was very necessary. Brandon Chatfield, absolute dog for the Cyclones. I mean, the stats don't necessarily show it. They're good, though. I mean, they are good. I'm not dogging on them. These are pretty solid stats. 16 minutes, 7 points. Kidding me? Off two shots from the floor. It's pretty good. Kidding me? So, just wanted to say, shout out Brandon Chatfield. If you see him, maybe he's I don't know where athletes go. Where do they get their food? Probably from the superfood store. How do you get to be 6'10"? Kidding me? 6'10"? How does he buy pants? That being said, if you see him, hey, give him a quick dap up. Hey, appreciate you. Everything you do. Cyclones need you, brother. That being said, that is going to do it for today. Come back tomorrow as we preview Utah and talk a little bit about TJ Otz's thoughts, as always. Until next time, Cyclone fans, be sure to subscribe so we can prove once and for all that is the Cyclone State. Sayonara.